Hi, I'm Kristen McLaurin. This is my YouTube channel, and today I'm talking about neuroplasticity, and how I use some of that information to inform my therapy. So I'm talking today about Richard Davidson, who is someone that I really enjoy learning from, and his 4 pillars of well-being that he's actually modified and added to over the last 7 years. But I'm going to talk about his original 4 pillars of well being. So these are pillars that he has studied and shown have led to observable, modifiable changes in the brain and happiness in people. And I use this information, as I often do the research and the things that I learn about, with my clients when I can, to inform my practice. So, the first pillar of well being is resilience. So, resilience is essentially how quickly we recover from stress, from things that are difficult, whether they are experiences in our environment, difficult emotions, and it's measurable in the neurocircuitry of our brains. How well we're protected from adverse consequences. I'm always looking at working with my clients on getting more resilient. Skills are hard to create, and it's obviously easier if you have a long-term relationship and if you're in therapy for a while, you trust your therapist, and you're open to learning this in safety. One of the ways to do this is through meditation. However, the research shows that this skill is difficult to build. So mindfulness meditation takes a while to change the circuitry in the brain, thousands of hours. So that might feel like some bad news. However, there are other ways to build resilience. And the research shows, for example, that having meaning and purpose is a very good way to do this. So that can help you to become resilient if you feel like you have life purpose and meaning. So that's something I will work often on with my clients, regardless of what their presenting issue is. So the first pillar is resilience. The second pillar is a positive outlook, seeing the positive in others, savoring positive experiences, seeing goodness in the world, resisting the tendency that we have for negative bias. One thing that can help with this is meta meditation. Meta meditation is loving kindness meditation, compassion meditation, and it shows that the circuitry in our brains gets altered very quickly by this practice. One study shows a group of individuals that practiced compassion meditation for 30 minutes a day for 2 weeks changed their brain. Changes in the brain, in the circuitry of the brain, predicted pro-social behavior. So this is legitimate stuff. So check into compassion meditation, meta meditation. This is extremely helpful for your clients and also you. And savoring interventions or practices that help you stay with positive experiences, because we have a tendency to skip over them and instead stay with the negative experiences. Our brains are built this way for survival. But the unfortunate side effect is that we are neglecting to fully appreciate the positive. So the second pillar is positive outlook. The third pillar is attention. So we know that if we can direct our attention, if we can stay focused and present in experiences, we will experience more happiness and more joy. A famous paper called A Wandering Mind is an Unhappy Mind talks about a study where they checked in with people and they said, are you focused? Are you paying attention? Are you somewhere else? And what people said was, and what they found was that whether people were doing a pleasant task that they enjoyed or an unpleasant task, if they were not focused, they rated their mood as unhappy. There's other studies, of course, that have duplicated this. And essentially what it shows us is that when we are distracted, when we are not present and immersed, we are unhappy. And it's surprising because you would think that if you were doing something unpleasant, then you wouldn't want to be present. But what we know is that presence and focused attention, rather than distractibility and divided attention, impacts our mood and our well-being. And so interventions that help your clients to be mindful, to be present, are going to affect their well-being. And then the fourth pillar is generosity. Surprising. I never push this on my clients. I don't have an agenda to make my clients more generous. However, they always give me the opportunity and the opening because, or almost always, most of us have a natural impulse to, and I don't mean generous like giving money, but generous is a term that can be interpreted in many ways. Kindness, open-heartedness, generosity is something that I often find is something that we as human beings have an impulse, a craving to do, want to do. And the research shows that it makes us feel good. So one of the research experiments here say that daily training has found that participants who learned, again, compassion meditations, kindness meditations, were more generous in an economic exchange game compared to the control group. Greater generosity was associated with changes in the brain's response to human suffering, and also in regions involved in empathy and in those involved in positive emotions. So simultaneously, as you're practicing generosity, good feelings, the part of your brain involved in good feelings, positive emotions, is also being activated. So happiness, good emotions, generosity, they go hand in hand. So these are, I use this research to inform my practice, regardless of my client's presenting problem. When I have the opportunities, again, I don't push it on my clients. It's not in the treatment plan. It spontaneously is guiding the work that I'm doing because I know that it is associated with well-being. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about how this has been refined how these concepts have been refined by the research. And now the pillars are talked about more as awareness, connection, insight, and purpose. I hope this video has been helpful. On my YouTube channel list what I'm learning about in therapy techniques. So I've been reading about this more over the last week. Thanks for watching.